Grace and peace, beloved. Amy Wilson Feltz here. I am the pastor of St. Paul's United Methodist Church in El Paso, Texas. Thank you for joining me for coffee with Pastor Amy this morning, and Happy New Year. I hope that your year is off to a great start. In the Feltz household, our year has included establishing some new rhythms. One of those is spending time with each other outside in the backyard. The weather has been mild enough in El Paso for us to do that every afternoon, and the children received a bounce house for Christmas. Thank you, Uncle Andy and Uncle Jeff. And so they've been enjoying playing in that, again, almost every afternoon. And it's been really fun to watch them. Their personalities are being revealed in the way that they are playing with one another. Natalie is 6 and she is pretty driven in most things. She has goals in mind. So even when she's playing in the bounce house, she's perfecting her jumps. She's working on her flips. She has a purpose for being in that space. Augie is 5 and is a bit more rambunctious in general, and he moves fast and he jumps hard, and he's a little more freeform in his movements in the bounce house. And then there's Olivia, who will not be left behind. She is 14 months old, and she's right there in the midst of everything with her older siblings. And she can stand and she can jump, and certainly she's controlling her movements in the ways that she can, but by and large, she's being bounced around by the movements of her sister and her brother, and she could not be happier. She simply is full of joy in those experiences as she goes with the flow, literally speaking. And it has reminded me of a psalm in our Old Testament, Psalm number 16, which is attributed to King David. And certainly David is someone who experienced ups and downs in life, some of them due to his own choices, and some of them, like many of us, all of us, due to circumstances beyond his control. So I want to read a few verses this morning. I'll begin in verse 9 of Psalm 16. My heart is glad and my soul rejoices. My body also rests secure. For you do not give me up to Sheol, or let your faithful one see the pit. You show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. In your presence there is fullness of joy. It's really encouraging to me because certainly we're experiencing things in life, again, that are beyond our control and can leave us feeling bounced around a bit. And I'm certainly not suggesting that we ignore difficult situations or that we avoid addressing things that really need attention in our lives. It's good and healthy for us to do the work that is necessary to make sure we are living in the most healthy way possible. So I'm certainly, again, not suggesting that we avoid things that are difficult, but I am suggesting that perhaps we could experience more joy in life if we are willing to go with the flow a little bit and to experience the presence of God, even when we are not feeling like we are totally in control. Because as you and I know, we actually have very little control over most things, but we do have control over how we perceive our lives and over how we deal with our experiences and over how we address things that are going on in our lives. And I think we can take a good lesson from Olivia as she finds joy in the movement and the natural rhythms of life. We can take a lesson from David and remember that the presence of God brings us joy, and also we can find comfort in the fact that God's presence is always with us. So we have access to that joy regardless of our circumstances. So I hope you, again, are off to a great start in your new year and that you are in a place where you are willing to acknowledge and cultivate joy in whatever you are experiencing, and that you can be a spark of joy for other people as well. Happy New Year once again. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I look forward to being with you here again next week for Coffee with Pastor Amy. Grace and peace.